Good day once again. I want to welcome every one of us to this second section of our class. And today we'll be looking at introduction to Excel. Right. So last week we talked about introduction to data analytics and data science, and we look at what data analytics and data science is all about. We look at the importance of data analytics. We look at the importance of data science. We also look at the common data analytics tools that data analysts need to know or need to be able to use, and the skills they need to acquire. We also talked about the tools, the common tools that a data scientist need to know and need to acquire as well. Talked about their required skills. We talked about what you need to know in terms of your understanding of mathematics, technology hacking skills, and as well as business and strategy acumen. And we move further to understand the process of data science and also the process of data analytics, and also what are the responsibility of a data analyst and as well as the responsibility of a data scientist. So we can always go back to our YouTube channel to watch any of our classes that we have done previously. So let's get back to our business of today, introduction to Excel. So as a data analyst, as a data scientist, I think one of the most common tools, right, that we'll be preview to or we'll be working with most time is Excel. And that is why we are starting our class with the Excel application tools. Now, Excel Microsoft is a spreadsheet application that incorporates tools for assisting in the recording and analysis of numeric data and has the ability to turn numeric data into charts. So what Excel is a spreadsheet that allows us to do numerous calculation functions to bring out different analysis using dashboard, using um, charts and different kind of application, your pivot table and the rest. It's so powerful and it allows us to create, manipulate, edit, print and store our workbook. So Excel is also like a database that can allow you to generate or create data and also store it for future use. In most organizations, both public and private organization, their major data storage application is Excel, because other application storage online might require um, uh, some forms of subscriptions or licenses, but Excel application is one of the most common used data storage application across various level of organization, maybe as a startup or as an existing organization and as expanded organization. Excel spreadsheet is the major application that organization use to create and store their data set. Then why do we need to learn Excel? Excel has many applications across industry and profession. And what and why sorry, and why do we need to learn Excel? And it is often used for one, entering and storing data. The first thing we need to do, we use Excel for is the first thing is to enter those data and we store it for subsequent use or future use. Then when we store those data, what next can we use with Excel? Can we do with Excel, right? We can also use it to analyze data, use it to collect, clean, and verify business data in different organization in our respective place of work, even in our academics, right? We use Excel to collect data, maybe probably for our primary data, and we use to run our project. We need to clean and modify those data. Then from there, we verify it. We use it for business analysis. We use it for academic analysis. We use it for research purposes, right? Budgeting and accounting task. Excel is also used for budgeting and accounting tasks. When you go to different organizations, their major budgeting software is Excel spreadsheets. Their major accounting software is Excel spreadsheet. They will also use it for visualization, right? To visualize data. That's what I explained earlier. We can use Excel to come up with different charts that will bring our Excel formatting and everything in a very more friendly and readable and comprehensive ways. Then we also use it to manage projects. Can we mute our mic, please? We also use it to manage project, right? There are different projects we embark on, and that is the most important thing about Excel. We can use it for different project purposes, for maybe probably monitoring, evaluation, performance appraisal, and these data can be stored and use it for subsequent analysis or subsequent visualization or report. You can also use it to generate data reports, optimize managerial and administrative duty. Yes, it's very important. When you go to most of your HR functions, they use Excel to collect the data of their employee, all the data, date of birth, name, addresses, and everything. This Excel is what they use to store the data of employees and every other administrative duty that your organization need to work with. They're reporting on performance, which is also used for performance appraisal. It allows the organization to be able to appraise the employee. Also for any other performance appraising projects that we can actually do. They will also use it to create schedules and calendar. Yes, this works fine. Excel is very perfect for you to create schedules and calendar for your project. Let's say, for instance, you have an array of project that you want to work for this month.
Yeah.
You can schedule it on your Excel. Please, let us mute our mic, please. We can use it to schedule our projects, and you can set your date as see when each date pass by, right? We can use it to understand, okay, yes, I've executed this one, the dates are passed, and I can see future dates that I need to execute my project. Managing operations and accounts. And lastly, we use it for forecasting purposes.
Nobody's
Yes, we
there
can
yet.
use it to forecast our
Huh?
analysis. Can we mute our
Alpha.
mic? You can use it to forecast, right? Analysis. Then what are the benefits of Excel? One, it makes you become faster and more efficient in your job, right? Using Excel, understanding how to use Excel for all these things allows you to be more faster and more efficient in your day-to-day activities. Rather than storing this in manual or working on it manual, their calculation, instead of you pressing your calculator, pressing all that thing, you can just use your Excel to do multiple and large data calculation, and you'll get your result faster. Become better at organizing data, powerful collaboration tools, add value to your career, make your job easier, optimize your personal and business assets, and lastly, increase your pay rate. Excel also increase your value in the job market, right? If you can see these days, even before an organization is asking for your experience in Python, in MySQL, in Power BI, the first application they are going to request for is Excel. Excel is more versatile. It's more vast than any other application out there because it makes it easier. It makes your job easier, and it's something that is most demanding in the labor market. I don't think there's any organization in the world today that can function without using Excel spreadsheet. So next, let's get started with Excel. First, when you open an Excel worksheet, you'll see an interface that shows some columns, headers, and everything. And what we're trying to do now is to introduce us to how to use this Excel interface. So when you open an Excel file, the first thing you see your interface, then you see Home. Home allows you to access new and recent files and template. Then when you click on New, clicking on New allows you to create a new workbook, right? Not worksheet, a new workbook. And if you want to open, it allows you to open an existing workbook. So when you go further down, you see information. Now, when you click on that information is trying, it will give you access to see the size of your workbook, the format type, the styles, and all those things, and the version of the Excel that you are using. Then when you go to save is in saving a new copy, right? Now, say the difference between save and save as. Save is that you are saving the document directly. But when you are using the save as, when you click on save as, it's telling you that that particular workbook you are working with, you can save it as another name while still working on that particular workbook. That is the difference between save and save as. Then the print button, then the shares. Share file allows you, especially when you're using the Microsoft 365 application, right? Allow you to share your files with other, excuse, it allows you to share your file with other project teammate that is working on that particular project. Let's say, for instance, my role is to work, is to create a data, is to collect and clean a data, then send it to a data analyst that will analyze it, or someone else in my team that need to analyze it. So instead of me actually saving the document and saving it on my system, then send it via email or WhatsApp, I can also share that particular document with my working teammate, and he will be able to see it and use the document to analyze whatsoever he needs to analyze. Now, when you look at the export is where you are converting the particular workbook into different file type, maybe like PDF, like videos, like PNG, picture file. This is when you can export your workbook to different file format. Then publish is allows the ability to publish your data set or your workbook into a Power BI application that will further analysis actually. Then the close version, close icon allows you to close your workbook and exit the Excel spreadsheet. Then when you go to access to account just give you the information of your account. Let's say, for instance, you are the owner of the account. When you click on your account information, you know you are the admin, the dates, the subscription, the licenses, and everything. An option is the access to key settings. When you click on this option, it will take you to how you can format your Excel interface into your suitable format. So this idea is just for you to add, maybe probably you want to add a menu bar, a task bar, you want to change the interface, for whatsoever reason you want to make your interface look like to suit what you want or to suit your own visualization. This is where you go. You click on the options button and it will take you to the setting whereby you can add or remove any toolbar or task bar. Then now, when you move to the home or menu bar, we see the first thing is clipboard. Now, this clipboard, what does it allow you to do? The clipboard allow you to control how you cut, copy, and paste. Now, when you look at that paste options, the arrow there, when you copy a particular data set, right, or information, you have options to paste it in different formats. Maybe probably you want to paste it in an inverse relationship, you want to paste it as PNG, you want to paste it at different format that suits what you want to do. That particular clipboard section is what allows you to be able to carry out that function. Now, when you go to the font section of your home bar, you see change format, settings, column, and borders. This is where you are. This particular icon icon allows you to change your font style, font and size, bold, italics, change the borders to any color, change the text to any color, change the cells background to any color. This is where you can format your particular interface to different format that you want it. Then when you go to the alignment just allows you to put your information in your cell. The information in your cell, either up, middle, right side, left side, center, idental to the left or to the right. So that is what the alignment allows you to do. So the idea and why I'm introducing us to this is when you open Excel, you see all these things and I want you to understand that, okay, when you need to perform a certain function, which of these menu bar do I just need to click on? And here we go, and I have my answers. Then when you go to number format allow you to change the
Sorry,
cell type
Nelson,
from,
your voice is breaking.
okay. Is it better now? Is it better now?
Yes.
Hello?
I can actually hear you from my end. I don't know about others. I think it's
I
from my
can
end
hear
very
you
well.
very well from my end as well.
All right, thank you very much. So for the cell format, so that one allows you to change the cell for number type from general to currency to number to date to percentage, any format you want to move it to. So when you have a particular data set in your cell and you want to change the format, that is exactly the icon that you will go to and you will change your format type. Then when you go to the other side, which is the conditional formatting, the style, right? You change the style of your cell in different colors, format the table, change the cell type, the headers and everything. So that is the section you will go for performing those commands. Then when we talked about insert, delete, and format cell, right? That is where you go to the cell bar, you see insert, you want to insert new cells or column or rows, you want to delete some rows, you want to delete a particular cells and all those things. So that is the place that you will perform those actions. Then sort and filter, find and select. In this particular place is where you want to sort your data. Let's say, for instance, you've entered a particular name in the different alphabetical order and in descending or ascending order. This is where you will come to arrange them. Let's say, for instance, you were typing names and you have Bose, Ade, BC, Joe, and you want to arrange them according to number. Maybe probably you want them to start with ABC. Then this is where you just come to and you will arrange and you sort your data in a particular form. And you also want to filter in such a way that you want to find a particular or you want to see some particular set of form. Let's say, for instance, you want to filter any names that have with A, then you just go to your filter and you put A, and all the names that start with A will actually come through. Now get Excel art in. This is where you need to just add, maybe probably you want to add an extension into your Excel application. This is where you come. Then access various data analysis tools. This is where you want to have an extensional services of Excel spreadsheets.
All right, no problem.
Oh my God, can people just mute their mic? So,
Mute them from your end.
yeah, I've done that. So the next one we go to insert. Now, insert, when you click on the menu bar on the insert again, you see the task, you will see another task bar coming up or toolbar coming up and say, okay, this is what you can perform under insert. Now, when you look at home, you see that there are different things that you see here compared to when you move to insert. You see that the whole task bar changed again, and you're having different kind of things that you can use now. Under this place, you see convert a range to a table, create a pivot. Like this is where you can create a pivot table, change it to an array, and use your adjustment. So when we are hearing pivot table, this is where you can change your Excel interface to a pivot table and allows you to run your analysis in pivot table. Add visuals to your spreadsheet. This is where you can add illustrations like icons, like online GIF and every other things that you want to add to your Excel sheet, right? This is where you can come in and add illustrations. Then other one is, okay, also you can also add pictures and every other thing, maybe pictorial, JPEG images from this illustration. Then when you come to charts, chart is where you can add different kind of charts when you want to perform a visualization on Excel. So you come to insert, you might have outlined, you must have highlighted the data you want to perform chart on, then you just come to insert, then you go to chart and you put that. I always advise you that you check your recommended charts first before to see what Excel will recommend for you before going for that to do your analysis in other charts designs. Then we have a 3D map. This is where you can convert your chart into a 3D design and all. Then we see the line, add line, column, win or loss, backlink. This is where you can add line, win, can do other further analysis on your chart. Then add filter, slicer, and timeline. This is where you can add the slicer and timeline filter to your what's it called, visualization, to make it more to make it more simulated. Like you have to simulate your um chart and visualization for responsiveness. Then we also add include link and references. Now, if you want to include link and reference to your data set or your chart or anything, this is the link you come to, whereby you have to include link, maybe probably from online. Just add the link so that when anybody that have access to this particular workbook can click on that link and we take that person to the page where you get that from. Then the other one is comments. Now, comment is when you're working with multiple team, right? And you've added some data sets and you need to add comment to it. Maybe probably trying to tell your team that this is where you got your data from, or this is what you want them to do next on this data. This is where you add the comment, and anybody that picks the workbook from your team can see your comment and what you want the person to do going forward, right? Then symbols, this is where you can add your symbol, your naira, your anything does in different shapes and in different sizes. Then the other one is text. Insert text box, word, headers, and footer. In this particular piece is where you can insert header. Excel also allow you to add headers and footers on your workbook, so that when you print it, instead of trying to say, okay, I want to title my Excel workbook, when you publish it, automatically when you add the headers and the footer, it will automatically show on each page of your Excel workbook when you print it out, right? Then when we go to page layouts is simply allowing us to readjust and realign our Excel workspace. Now applying the predefined theme color, font styles, and style. Let's say, for instance, you are working with an organization that has a particular uh, color color template that you must be working with, right? This is where you can come and mix the color for your Excel interface to define the complete pictures or their official um, color, right? Then setting margin and orientation. So let's say, for instance, now when you're printing Excel, it's kind of complicated when you need to print your result or your analysis. This is where you come that you need to set your print margin in such a way that when you print your data set or you print your visualization, some parts is not cut out, your adjustments, there's no um, um, any deformation in your data set or your reports that you are presenting to your management team. So this is where you come to set your alignment, your paper size, your print area, your break and backgrounds, and the rest. Then when you come to scale to fit, now scale to fit is allow you to fit in your printable area to the format that you need to print it. Now this allow you to scale the size of your workbook to a printable format. Now let's say, for instance, now you might be using A4 or A5 or A6 or any or legal, depending on the paper that is available or what you want to print. This is where you need to adjust them and control the width and the height, and as well as scale the size of your what is it called, cells to be in order for you to be able to print it out correctly. Then when you come to shift options allow you to remove grid lines. Now let's say all those box lines that I choose the Excel and everything. Let's say, for instance, you want to create a dashboard. Grid line is not required. This is where you need to remove the grid line. This is where you need to add the grid line, views, heading, and everything. So where you want to create a dashboard or a report, right, you need to take out the grid line, and this is where you can perform those things and adjust it. And the other one is control the display of objects in your spreadsheets. Now, this is where you can send something to back, bring it to the front, select pane. Select pane allows you, when you're scrolling up and down your Excel workbook, right, the heading or whatever you put as title will go along. So let's say, for instance, you're working with about data set of 5,000 or 10,000. You don't need to go up. You need to go up and check the entire rows that you're working with or a column that you're working with to know the title of that column. But select pane allows you to freeze. So when you freeze, you allow you to freeze that particular header. And when you freeze that particular header, then when you scroll up to the last number of your worksheet or data set, the header is still there, and it allows you to see and work on that particular columns without you scrolling up and down to check what is the title or the name you actually named the column. That is that. And alignment. Alignment just allow you to put them in center, left, right, and that is just basically based on its name, alignment. Then the other part is formula. Now, like I said, Excel has what we call predefined functions and relevant formulas, like sum, average. These are the functions that the designer of Excel has come with. So let's say, for instance, I'm working on accounting data, budgeting data, planning data, forecasting data. I can come here, all mathematics, I will just come here and look for what I want. The only time I might not need there is if I need to write my functions myself that is not predefined or it's not a default function from Excel. That is when I will have to write out my function. But if it's something that I have the function, maybe like sum, average, max, I can just come here. I highlight my data sets, right? I just come to either auto sum, recently used, financials, logical text, and everything, date, format, lookup, reference, math, and trigonometries, and many more functions that you can find there. So when you need to get a particular function, this is the formula side that you just need to click on and you see the options. Then you find a name range and access your list in the named range. This is where you can create selection, define the name of your data set and everything. Then trace, inspect and troubleshoot formulas and paste. This is where you can remove arrows, troubleshoot, show your formula, check errors of your formula, evaluate what you have done and all. Then under calculations, allow you to control the calculation method used in your Excel file. Then we will go to data, right? Now, data is just very simple. This data it allow you to it's an ability for you to be able to import, export, or get in data from different sources. Now, when you look at access power query, now in the access power query, you can see different for get data. So when you click on that arrow that check down, you will see different sources where you can get data from. Whether it's an Excel, it's a CSV, it's PDF, you can import PDF table and convert it to table on Excel and all. So they just give us different options here, table, time, online and everything, by SQL. So you can import table from data from these sources here. They access existing query and the connection. This is where you can refresh. You have an existing query that you have worked on, you can access it from here. Then convert text into a specific type of information. This is where you want to convert your text into currency, any information that you want to convert your particular text into. Then so access sort and filter capabilities. So I've already discussed this earlier, where how you can access your filter. This also allows you to do advanced filtering, whereby you can source it based on your own functions or formulas. Now, filter comes with as a default, but you can also set it based on what you want. Advanced setting is when you automatically understand what you need to do in that particular sorting problem. So you go to advanced and you align, or what is it called, develop your formula based on how you want it to come out. In data tools, now this is like a data validation, whereby probably you actually got a data that is not properly validated, that has issue like comma, error, strings, text to files, and you need to convert those data in order for you to be able to apply your analysis or calculation. This is where you come, you see text to column. Let's say, for instance, there's a particular text that's supposed to be in two columns, but is in one column. This is where you have to split them into different columns. This is where you have to create table. This is where you have to set conditional formatting, like setting them into date. Let's say, for instance, a particular column you need to put it into a date format, and you don't want any other information that is put in that place that is not, if it is not date format, it will reject it. It call it error. This is where you need to validate your data in such a way that anybody that is imputing data into it, if it's not imputing the right data that you have validated in that particular column or cell, it will not accept it. Then a forecast, that this is what if analysis, where you want to do your forecasting model, your tools, and every other advanced analysis you need to do in Excel. This is where you need to come and perform that um, applications. Then the other one is outline, group and or group roles. This is where you need to group a particular roles and you ungroup them. This is just basically grouping and ungrouping. Then we'll come to review. Review is just to tell us how to, now that we are done with our data set, we just want to review it, check, enhance the language and accuracy. This is where you come for your proofreading and all. Then identify potential accessibility issues. If you want to set as check your accessibility issue, who can access your data set and everything. Enhance understanding and exploration of data as well. Other is like if you want to translate your language. Let's say, for instance, this thing is written in English and you want to translate it in German, right? You can, this is where you can translate your the English format or whatsoever the languages you have used, right, into, let's say, for instance, I've written this particular data set of supply it in English language, and I'm sending it to a friend of mine in Germany who does not understand English. I can come here and translate whatsoever I've done in English into German, they say, then send the workbook to the person who will be able to work on it. Then this is change, where you need to highlight the changes and everything. Then insert comment and tag your coworker, which I've also explained earlier. It's also in our onboarding. Then also add notes, where you need to add notes. If probably, for instance, you need to add notes to remember what you want to put in that particular data set. Then on this side is where you need to protect or lock your workbook for to protect any what's it called? Say, let's say, for instance, you want to make your workbook secret or you don't want them to know the formula that you have used or anything. You will come here and you protect your workbook or protect a particular sheet. So if anybody wants to edit anything in that particular workbook that you have sent, it needs to get the password that you used to lock it. Otherwise, that person won't be able to edit or work on it. They automate and highlight, draw your spreadsheet. This is where you can draw or highlight anything on your spreadsheet. Then views. So views is just you checking your page break, your normal, custom views, exit, keep, and all those things. This is just like additional functions that allow you to expand your data, your workbook based on how you want it. Control the way your workbook is displayed. Do you want it in page break? Do you want it in normal? Right? Do you also want it in custom, page layout, and the rest? Also, grid line, which I have explained earlier, where you want to show your grid line, add elements, formula bars, on all those things, header if you want to show it. So this is where you can play with the toggles on check and uncheck, right? This is where you can zoom for magnification. This is where you can zoom to 100, zoom to 75, zoom in any way. Then also here too is how to manage your workbook display. Like I've explained, they arrange all freeze pane and all those things. This is where you definitely come and use them. Then this macros is how to view and use relative reference with macros. Then developer. This is for the people that want to write code, right? This one is not common with a basic Excel. If you want to write code, Visual Basic, macros, and the rest, this is where you need to come, view code property. So for us, I don't think we really need this since we're working with a basic and advanced Excel. For the people that are interested in coding, they can come to this side, write some code in Excel. This is where you come, developer. So the last one is sheet. On the bottom side of your Excel interface. You see your sheet, you see your ready. This is cell mode indicators, access to macros, manage your sheet spread. This is where you can add more sheets to your workbook, right, or delete from your workbook in any way you want to use this. And this is accessibility is telling you, okay, you are good to go. If you enter error and you know this particular workbook are not saved, then it will query it from this accessibility. Then this side, on the right hand side, we have the normal view, the page layout view, the page break, and adjust settings zone. So this is where you can adjust your workbook interface in terms of, is it normal grid, you want to change it to page layouts, page breaking, and as well as adjusting the what is called the view of your Excel interface. So let's move forward. So now, important spreadsheet terminology. Now we have cell, right? Cell is just what we know as A1. So when you look at, if you can see my console, when I click on this particular area, when I click on it, sorry, let me go back. It is called cell. So that is the cell. But when I move cell references, if I click on here and there's an what's it called? An arrow that say A1, that means I'm referencing cell A1. So I move forward down and I click on this 2A2, I'm referencing cell A2. So that is what is called cell reference. Then column is the alignment of A downward, B, C, D. That is our column. Then row start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is just moving your cursor down like this is called column. Then moving this way, it is called arrows, right? The range is when I select everything. So from next class, we'll start practicalizing this, but I'm just trying to introduce us to the interface and how Excel work and the terminologies that you need to know to be able to become experts and understand how Excel actually works, right? So when range is when I select A downward to like 13. So now I've selected range of A1 to A13. So it's going to be A13. So when I select it, it's going to be A semicolon 1, then A semicolon 13, which means it's telling me that I have selected a range of a cell, right? Then formula is, like I said, I've explained in that interface. Formula is just the existing predefined or default formula that Excel engineers have designed for us to use directly without writing any functions like sum, average, mean, median, mode, and rest, and every other function that they've actually queued at the back end of the application that you can use automatically without needing to write any functions or any query. Then also functions now function is where um you already have is a predefined formula that already is available in a spreadsheet and which makes it easier for you to perform. So you just click on there. Let's say for instance you want to go to some, you just go to that some arrow up there and you will perform it. Now argument. Argument refer to a specific value required by function for you to perform a calculate and return the result. Now, what do we mean by argument? Argument is like the first thing that you need to do. Now, when you're trying to write a function in Excel, right? The first thing that you do is you need to use the word equal to.
Let me speak with Munich. Speak with Munich for you to.
Yeah.
Or you try.
Sorry. So let's move forward. Then arguments, you have to start with equal to be able to carry out any form of argument in your Excel workbook. Your first function for you to write any function or write any formulas in Excel that is not a predefined or the default Excel functions, you need to start with equal to, right, before you work on anything. That is what we call refer to a specific value required by functions. And then the worksheet. Worksheet is just a single page of rows and column. Then workbook refer to an entire spreadsheet, right? File containing a collection of work worksheet. Now, worksheet is just that single this thing that you work on. So I let me go back to this particular place that I said earlier, right? When you look at this particular place, this is what we call worksheet. I can add any other worksheet to this place by clicking on this plus and have different sheets. Now that is what we call worksheet. But by the time I save this particular worksheet, it becomes a what? A workbook. Then modifying and formatting worksheet. Right now, how do we do that? Selection techniques. Selecting a cell is like you just have to enter a particular data or execute most command for the worksheet. Now, this is what we're talking about selecting range earlier. So all you just need to do is, for instance, now in this example, you see I select the range of what? A5 to what? This one. This is a cell, active cell, which I'm selecting from A5 to A11, then up to C5 to what? C11, which is range, right? And as you can see here, it refers to as what is it called? It's not supposed to be BC, so I think I didn't do that. It's supposed to start from A5, right? To this particular one, A11, then C5 to C11. Then selecting a non-adjacent cells and range. As a rule, select multiple, adjacent. So now let's say for instance, I want to actually give my entire worksheet a particular font style, right? All I need to do is to come to that arrow that is as the edge of A1 and click on it. It will select the entire worksheet. And when I select the entire worksheet, then I can go to my home and do some adjustments, set it to like maybe probably font style, Time New Roman, then font size 11 and everything. So anything that I input in all these cells, all the cells in this particular worksheet will be formatted according to how I have done it by selecting all the buttons. Then cut and paste. This is just a single formula where you have to use your Control C to activate your copy, Control X to activate your cut command, then Control V to paste, right? And this is the example that we have done here. So in Excel, it allows you to control, you can either highlight the entire data set that you want to copy, right click and use your copy and paste, or you use your shortcut command key, which is Control C to copy, Control S to cut, and Control V to paste. There, using autofill in Excel often you should populate a range in Excel, right? So now for us, for example, now, right, in this first example, I have 1, 2, 3, 2011, 12, 13, ABC. Now I want to populate, let's say for instance, I'm going to 2020 and I want to put them in alphabet and number. So because I've made an argument 1, 2, 3, right? 2011, 2013, and ABC. So what I'm trying to tell Excel is that, look, as I have done this now, my command, so by me highlighting them and coming to this dot here, right? I'm telling Excel that, look, I want you to do it accordingly, right? Arithmetically, in such a way that when I drag it down, it will continue with 3, 2014, sorry, 4, 2014, and D, right? That is that is the command I'm giving Excel. So Excel automatically understand that I'm trying to let them that, look, we have continue this thing in a descending or ascending order, right? Now, this is called what we call series of same continuous value, right? Series of continuous value. Then on this particular place, it's called series of same value. Now, once I want to do, let's say for instance, I carried out the primary data and the responses were 100. And in A, let's say for instance, do you stay in Lagos? And 100 people responded to yes, right? Instead of me typing the yes one after the other in terms of getting to 100, right? What what I would do is just type a single yes, right? Either come to this place where this dot, drag it down, right, to 100, and everything will autofill yes. Now, but when I come to series of continuous value on the right-hand side, you see I typed 1 and 2, and I highlighted the 1 and 2 together. So I'm telling Excel to understand the fact that, look, I'm not saying you should do 1, 1, 1, 1. What I'm asking you to do is I'm giving you a command to what? To describe this thing, or to autofill this thing in an ascending or descending order. And when I drag it down, you can see the result on the right-hand side, which give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. So that is the argument. When I type a single data set and I drag down, Excel return the same data set I have typed. But when I type 1 and 2 of a different continuous variable, right, values, and I drag down, Excel automatically understand that I'm telling you to just continue counting. Then define data, use a keyboard shortcut. No, to find the data now in a number of data sets, all we just need to do is use our Control F, or come to that where we talk about find and filter. Then you see it there where you can just check. There's also what we call replace. Let's say, for instance, I have a data set in a particular um, um, workbook, right? Let's say, for instance, the name Ade, and the data collector came back and told me that no, the name is not Ade. There was an error. It's supposed to be Adedayo. So what I need to do is I have to find what Ade is in any particular in that data set and replace it with Adedayo. So when I click on replace, I'll see find, put Ade there. Further argument will come out to tell me replace with what. Then I'll put Adedayo, and when I click on the command, when I execute the command, it will automatically change all the names in that particular data set that is added to Adedayo. Right. So this is just an example that we have here. The insert, delete, adjust cells, column, and row. Right. Now, when you come to insert, which I've explained earlier, we have different kind of things that we can perform in insert new rows, insert new cells, right? New column, entire row, shift cell up, shifted die. So you can do a lot of things. Also delete as well. You can delete an entire row, you can delete an entire sheet, right? You can delete entire data sets, and you can also delete an entire worksheet. It just depends on how you want to command and where you need to get those things, those commands done. Then alignment, align cell content. Right now, when you need to align, like I've already explained this in your home, but you've seen alignment whereby, do I want to make my data set start from the middle, left, right, center, up, down? This is where I come. If I also want to change the way my data set are written, maybe I want to change in horizontal, vertical, in any way, this is where I'll come to do that. Also, there's what we call wrap and merge center. The wrap set is where you write a particular set now, right? Let's say, for instance, I write a name in this box A. Maybe so it's an Adidayo Mojisola. That particular name will automatically extended to B or C. So for me not to do that, and I still want to maintain the what is it called, the cell size, right? What I need to do, I'll just come here and click on wrap text, and the particular text will be in cell A, and it won't elapse to cell B or C. So for merge and center is when you need to merge a particular column or merge a particular row, right, together. Let's say, for instance, I want to merge 1 or 2 together, or merge A and B together. So I'll highlight A and B, then click on merge center, right? And it will automatically merge the two cells together. So formatting, now formatting is just like I've explained, formatting is in different formats. Let's say, for instance, I've written a particular data set in a particular cell, right? And I want to change the format, maybe probably to currency, to date, to percentage. All I need to do is to come to this particular place and change them here, this particular format into this anyone, percentage, comma, in dollars. So in this aspect, we can do different type of formatting style. Like you can see price, percentage, amount, total price, and you see that this particular person in this example we wrote 555. By the time I'm changing it, I can change it to a percentage by using the formatting style, right? I can change whatever data set I have imputed in any cell to any format that I want. Let's say, for instance, this particular one is in decimal and I don't want a decimal. I can just go there and remove it from decimal. So I think this brings us to the end of today's class, right? And by next week class, we'll start practical and we'll start using real data sets for everything I have explained in the introduction of introduction to Excel, right? So from next week, we're starting um, data analysis using Excel. So as such, we'll be using real life data that we have gotten to explain all these steps and functions, rows, everything that Excel can do. We'll start using data sets to work on it from next week. So thank you very much, everyone. So do we have any questions, any comments?
Thank you very much, Nelson. Thank you very much.
Comment or question?
So much. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much for this. At least with your pace, we can be able to learn very well. Unlike when we are rushed, this is going with a very pace, and we very much appreciate it, sir. I think if it can go like this, we have no problem with future programs that we may want to run or applications that we want to make. Thank you so much, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for tonight's class. It was really on a very good pace, not fast, not too slow, and I learned a thing or two. But I have a question.
Okay.
Can we hear me? Okay.
Yes,
You
go
said
ahead.
we will start working on data set from next week. Will we be provided the data so that we can practice along?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Any data that we'll be working on with from next week, right? We will supply it on the group. So people will have ideas. They will have idea of the data we want to work with from next week.